Welcome back to the county seat. We are discussing environmental trends, the economic costs of wilderness. It's a very interesting report. I recommend it to everybody, whether you're pro-wilderness, anti-wilderness, just to give you a fresh perspective on some numbers that are easy to grasp. And the important thing is this is really part of ongoing studies of a whole array of things that are more of a comprehensive picture. And I'd like to find out a little bit about them. Ryan, tell me about one of them.
No, this is a piece of a lot larger set of work. One of the things that we've also looked at was a claim made in that Sonora report you talked about, that wilderness improved quality of life in the areas where it was. And so in order to do that, we built our own quality of life index and then proceeded to measure quality of life across the whole U.S. And we don't find wilderness actually makes any difference in quality of life. It doesn't affect it at all.
Wow. Property values, anything like that?
Property values are a whole other story. They're much more difficult to measure and understand. But when you think about why people choose to move to a place, it doesn't seem to matter in any of those ways.
Okay, well, Brian, what's another aspect of the larger body?
Like Ryan mentioned, this is part of a much larger body of work. We, in fact, just recently completed another study examining the Grand Staircase Escalante, where we look at economic conditions in Garfield and King County prior to the monument designation and then after the monument designation, and we compare those counties with other similar counties across the nation. Looking at these models, we find two things which are a little surprising. One, we find no net positive impact of the monument designation, meaning that on the one side we find either a null result, meaning we don't find any impact of the monument designation. On the other side, when we run the models differently, we find a net negative impact of the monument. This is surprising because there's recently been work done by other researchers, namely Headwaters, which finds a surprisingly positive impact, and our numbers just don't find the same.
Excellent. Randy?
And where we're moving right now is looking at environmental regulations, and what we're finding is that everybody wants green energy, but nobody wants it in their backyard. So if I am a really strong environmentalist, I'm opposed to coal development, but it turns out I'm opposed to windmills or solar farms or geothermal in my backyard.
Do people underestimate the impact of like solar and wind as far as how much acreage it affects?
Oh yes, I mean a pad for an oil or gas well is tiny, whereas a solar farm can take thousands of acres, and so can windmill farms. They're just huge. They take huge expanses, and then the question is, where are you going to run the transmission lines? It's not, and again, running transmission lines is not something that many people view as environmentally friendly. So yes, we should switch to solar and wind, but not here.
Well, it sounds like there's really a lot to study. Gentlemen, would you come back? We are out of time. I think that each one of those topics is a show in and of itself that we could come back to. Thank you for your work and your research, and thank you for joining us on the County Seat. As always, you can follow this up or tell one of your friends to watch it by going to our website, thecountyseat.tv. You can also check out our Facebook page and leave your comments there. We'd love to have the dialogue with you, the viewers. We'll look for you next week right here on the County Seat.